This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
Okay, good morning. My name is Luis Borjas. I am one of the co-founders of Stockpulp. The evolution of The evolution of investment decision making. So why do we say this? Well, there are two main schools of thoughts on financial markets. One is called fundamental analysis, which relates to balance sheet, income statements, cash flow statements. And the other one is called technical analysis, which relates to charts. So you can see how a stock's past performance has been, and you try to see what the future movement of a stock can be. But all of this is changing because in the last 5 years, 90% of the world's data has been produced and registered. And we are convinced that in the near future, investors will use our platform to make their investment decisions. So what's the problem? It is impossible for an individual investor to grasp all the data that's out there about a financial asset. So how to extract and present the relevant information in an understandable manner? Well, we're going to collect and process data about financial securities, and we're going to deliver information that is relevant to each individual investor, creating a very powerful financial tool. What we want to build, we call it the lab, where each customer can customize their dashboards, set their alerts, use different indexes or create their own indexes, use word clouds and graphs for a very representation. But what have we built today? What we have built, we call it a dashboard. It's right now in private beta mode, and we get our data from Twitter's Firehose. And we created our first index called the noise variation, which it is a number between -5 and 5. And this aims to provide if people are talking more or less about a financial security. That means if the number is 5, everybody's talking about that security. And if the number is -5, nobody's talking at it, nobody's saying anything at all. At the same time, we give you the most relevant tweets and relevant articles about that company that you're following in our dashboard. That gives you information of what is that people are saying. In the next slides, we'll show you some screenshots of our private beta so you can have a better idea. You sign in with your Twitter account, and you're going to have numbers and graphs. As you can see, we selected Tesla. At that moment, the noise variation was 0.34. That means nothing's going on. It's just people talking as usual about that stock. In the next page, we'll show you the most relevant tweets and relevant articles on real time. And then to the right, we're going to have a cloud tag so you can have an idea when people are talking about Tesla, what other words they are using. As we said before, our beta is going to be available for the public this summer. We have already more than 250 people registered as testers. We have a very active Twitter account with more than 5,000 engaged followers from the financial field. And what we have been doing is, in the last 3 months, what our algorithms tell us are the most relevant tweets and relevant articles about the companies we follow, we tweet about them. The market. There are over 40 million Americans that have online brokerage accounts that are managed by themselves. What this means, that these are personal investors that are always looking for tools to make better decisions. Our target is personal investors. For millennials, technical analysis and fundamental analysis is always old school. We believe that if we give them tools to play with big data, they're going to be their own money managers. We can grow easily into any other market. It's just a matter of changing the language. We did some financial projections. We're going to be a monthly subscription mode. We plan to charge $14.99 a month. And if we raise $1.5 million, we believe we can be cash flow positive 12 months after we launch our product, if we get to 12,600 paying customers. We deliver information that helps customers make very intelligent decisions. The user can understand large sets of information with just a glance. We provide easy entries for inexperienced investors, and we will use financial blogs, financial podcasts, and financial newsletters to let them know about us. and we can approach big clients by offering them a co-branding or white label solutions. And this is our team. Alfredo is our number cruncher. Tomas is the guy responsible for coding, and then that's me. Please go to stockpulp.com and register for our beta. Thank you very much.
I'll start. Sorry I'm late, y'all. So I'm a very pro Schwab person. I've been on Schwab for 16 years. They're not quite doing the social media thing, as you probably know. I view them as like probably the best online investment opportunity out there. I mean, they got great tools, they got great everything. So how are you going to compete against the Schwab?
Well, I hope the Schwab be by customer. I hope that we can offer this to Schwab's customers.
So you're only providing information, and they go to an online E-Trade, Schwab, whatever to trade,
yes.
right?
Yes. We're not giving advice. We don't believe in stock picking. So we're just a tool. We're a tool so that people can use big data in an easy way, because that's the way we think people are going to make their investment decisions. Because it's changing, because now we have data, big cloud, everything.
And you don't think, Schwab, they're not quite where you are right now, but you don't think they're going to get there soon? Is anybody on Schwab?
I am on Schwab.
You're on Schwab, okay. So.
Well, that's good. That's really good. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
So you know, because I have
Yes.
to say on the social media
Yes.
side, they're not there.
No.
And I don't know if they'll get there.
No.
I mean,
Who's there? Who's using this? The big hedge funds.
the big hedge funds.
And one of the reasons I started this, I made a call in 2013 when I read an article about a company that's offering something similar to this, and they said, hey, if you don't have $2 billion, we don't care about you. And I said, well, who's offering this for the individual investor? So nobody was doing it, so that's when I decided to do it.
It is hard if you're not, I come from the investment background, if you're not an investor, this stuff is hard to understand, right? And so if you can quote unquote really make it easy.
Yes.
I do think there's an opportunity there. I really do.
So I guess that's the question I have, is a little bit around the it. So I think first thing, good job. I'm very pro customer, so I always want to know, I like to see a pitch, and that's just my personal preference, is lead with the customer. So when you talked about there's 40 million customers managing themselves, sometimes it's harder to figure out like how I'm going to think through with the business opportunity unless I know who you're going after. So you're talking about self-managed, and it sounds like even millennials, getting in theirs or something. So that's the customer, and then it's a little bit of the using technology to aggregate a bunch of data out there that takes either a significant amount of time or subscriptions, and you're putting it in a dashboard, which if you've been to Red Ventures, I mean, I love dashboards. I think dashboards are great. And so I think the question is, what are you doing and what are you not doing? And so you're saying you're not doing the stock picking.
No.
But you're aggregating all the data.
Yes.
So then is there still is it for the person who doesn't necessarily, who needs to figure out an investment decision, how do you help them get there to that making that decision? You've aggregated all the data for them, but there's still a level of, inexperience, if you will, because hedge funds up here, individual investors, and then even within individual investors, there's a lot of strata of segments.
Yeah. Well, in this case, for example, you like Amazon. You want to buy stocks of Amazon. If the noise variation is 3, 4, or 5, something's going on. You want to know in real time what is it. So we'll give you that information.
Okay.
And you can set up alarms and say, I only care when people are talking about a company that I'm interested in investing in. So you will receive an alert. Hey, they're talking about Amazon. Hey, Amazon's going to compete with YouTube. Oh, okay, I understand that. Now I'm going to buy more stocks because I think that's a good idea.
But are you going to aggregate in others, since you have the social login, are you also going to have a forum where people can be talking about saying, hey, but you're not endorsing necessarily the stock, but you're using maybe that social peer network as an element that people may find of value.
No, but what we're using is when you say social, we're using the data right now from Twitter, but we can use it from Yelp, we can use it from Amazon, but for now we're using it from Twitter because it's the one we're getting our MVP out, and Twitter gives us a limit of access to their fire hose, so that's why we're getting the data from there.
I'm just more wondering, is there going to be a function in the portal, you have the dashboard, where also people, as a result of this forum and community that you're creating, could actually talk about, wow, Amazon is a 4, and I think, this is my take on it, the fact that, they didn't make their projections, I'm still not worried because I think it's a longer term play. You're not endorsing that. You're not endorsing that, that stock per se, but you're leveraging maybe the power within millennials or with the social footprint to help people make decisions. It's just another element
Yes.
that I would just think about.
That
And
already-
maybe
that-
ask your customers
that
if they
already
want it.
exists. And what we want to be is when people go to those social communities or whatever, their idea of investing comes from us. So that's here where they get the idea to decide to invest or not to invest in a company, because they like what they're seeing, or they can compare historical data to the real-time data, and that's where they can make their decision on investing or not.
Are you just doing stocks, or are you doing?
We're going to do
ETFs?
we're going to do everything.
Everything?
The idea is to do financial assets.
Any financial assets?
Yes. But for now, in our beta, it's only 15 stocks that we are following in our dashboards that is going to be available, so people can register and see them in 2 to 3 months. You can start using, and we want to learn from the feedback from our customers, what they say about the platform. It's just a small piece we just built. The idea is to build something very big.
And what's the price?
$14.99 a month.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
So $14.99, and
Yes.
are you, again, I think you need to get in and see, but when you did some modeling, do you have any idea of how long a customer is going to stay? What are you modeling out as your customer value?
Well, the price point we came because of there are more than 2 million people that are registered for financial newsletter, and they pay an average about that. And that's just an email received once a week or once a month. This is a 24/7 information for you. Okay, so that's where we got kind of the price. And how much a customer stays with us, I hope forever. But we did a 5% churn year over year. Just some modeling. You know, when you do numbers, you wish for the better, but you don't know what's going to happen then.
No customer will stay forever, so
Yeah.
lower your expectations
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And then in terms of churn, I would look at, see relative to industry, you know, what is, and model on a monthly churn. You'll get a lot of drop off likely, especially if somebody's, you know, getting in, they don't necessarily see what they want, but maybe just think through that in terms of what's realistic and what's gonna, then that translates from an investor standpoint into what your burn rate's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the question. You're looking for seed round, but, you know, and you're building out yet, so you're pre-revenue.
Yes.
What is your burn rate? How do you, you know, what are the, you know, different elements and factors that make it so that you're on the path to break even versus you're still figuring out and burning through cash?
Are you all affiliated with a university?
No.
I just had a question about sort of your path. You're going to start with trying to get individuals to sign up and pay for your basically a social listening service for the financial services industry. I can't help but think that there's so much competition for, you know, then your central struggle is how do you let people know?
I know.
You know, in a cheap and an efficient way, how do you let people know that you're out there? But it seems like your end game is to be sold as a service into one of these much larger companies that actually allows you, you know, Schwab, or, you know, that's going to be an actual platform. And those are two very different challenges. I would almost advise you to not even try to go out and get customers, you know, and for that $14.99. I would think what you need to do is show that you're very different. The information that you're gleaning from, it sounds like only social sources.
Yes. Well, in this case, we're using it from Twitter, so it's what people are saying about the company.
Sure.
Okay, but most of the people like, hey, what's the most relevant article? Where our algorithm looks for the information that people are talking about. An article about Amazon just came out, and when you see that noise goes up, you say, why is it going up? Why are people talking about Amazon this right moment? It's because they just came out with an information that they're going to compete against YouTube. And there are two great articles out there, one on the New York Times and the other one, whatever. And
yeah, no, to the degree that you can help marshal people's limited attention, you know, and get them right to the information, that's, you know, in the sort of technology and the news world, you know, there's a lot of apps that are out there, but you're competing for people's time on their phone, you know, when they're working, and it's if you've got to go tackle the sort of the consumer problem, it's you know, it's all about, you know, what Christy was talking about, you know, how much are you making, how long are they staying? I think that $15 a month is extraordinarily aggressive. I mean, it's going to keep your numbers super low, you know, whereas I think what you want to do is You want to get above the noise, get it out there. Everybody knows to use your service, and then you can go attract. Now that's going to take more investment, and that's going to have a little bit longer, tail. It's riskier, but I think that you have a better chance of being successful. Having Charles Schwab in 18 months be like, you know what?
Yeah.
This needs to be part of us.
Exactly.
Think of like a Pulse, Pulse, the news
I
service.
understand it. I
They
heard
got
that.
bought by LinkedIn. They weren't. I don't think anyone was paying for that when they got bought by LinkedIn, but they became, useful, and it's a big challenge.
I
Thank
agree
you.
with them. Got a huge user base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Schwab Stockpulp.
Right here.
Do you think that could be an ultimate goal, is to be bought out by someone?
Yeah.
It could be. When they ask me about my exit strategy, it's just to be successful, so and to grow. But
Right.
I'd be
I think the
intentional
social
going
channels are notorious for changing their terms of service, their use of their APIs, and how do you protect against a Twitter coming in 2 months and basically saying,
Fantastic.
you
That's
can't
a
access
customer,
our
I'd
data.
like that.
well, I'll have to look for another resource or whatever. But that can happen, and we don't think they'll do it. Because we can go to any Yelp or Amazon. We can based on comments or that people put on Amazon comments, or the data is out there and it's really easy to find, but that can happen.
Let's thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.